very good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us today on Nationwide. I am Tessie Justin Bisong. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally engaged the presiding officers of the National Assembly in furtherance of his unshakable resolve towards finding lasting solutions to the resurgence of violence in some parts of the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president briefed the Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara on the steps taken so far in responding to the unfortunate situation. The meeting, which lasted about 45 minutes behind closed doors, thoroughly analyzed in particular the security concerns in Plateau State and charted the best way forward. Speaking to newsmen after the meeting, the leaders of the National Assembly gave hints on the possible reorganization of the nation's security architecture in order to give more impetus to the battle against violence.
See how what can be done with NEMA, the security agencies and all that. If there's any need of what we also can do in our own part collectively to address the issues on ground. Nobody is happy with it. He is not, neither of us are, and we'll ensure that we all come together collectively to see that, we restore sanity and, of course, commiserate with all the families that he's come back. It's our intention to also go and pay our own condolence visit to the people of Plateau. And general appeal at the end of the day is that we must live together in peace and harmony to all Nigerians, and we'll continue to do our best to see that this kind of thing does not happen again.
He's briefed us as to what he saw firsthand when he visited Plateau yesterday and the measures he's putting in place to ensure that we do not have a relapse into this or a recurrence. But these are very, very somber moments for most of us, situation where people in hundreds are killed, and we cannot continue to tolerate this as government, because whatever it is, we mustn't lose the fight against violence, because we can't lose that fight and still keep our civilization. But he's told us what he's doing and the reorganization that he plans to put in place to ensure that this don't happen. And my advice to our people, not just Plateau State, it's virtually everywhere, in Benue, in Kaduna, in Zamfara, so many communities in this country are faced with this situation, especially in the north. I think the issue of securing our communities, living peacefully, must be taken as a project that each and every one of us must invest in, whether we're traditional rulers, whether we're community leaders, whether we're in government, from councillors to chairmen to the government, all strata of society. We must invest in peace building, because that's the only way that we can live in secured communities and ensure that we have progress.
In a related development, traditional rulers, political and religious leaders in Plateau State have been tasked to take ownership of the peace project in the state by ensuring that those under their influence behave themselves at all times. President Muhammadu Buhari, who gave the challenge at an interactive session with them in Jos, described the resurgence of senseless killings and destruction of property in parts of the state as unfortunate, worrisome and intolerable. While extending his condolences to the families of those who lost their lives, the president promised to do whatever it takes within the limits of the law towards finding lasting solution.
I asked to be elected president, so I cannot complain. I look for it. This is what I'm going through. And nobody will say we haven't done well in terms of security. What happened here is very bad. And the question of leadership from your household to whatever you are is justice. The bottom line is justice. So the question of ethnicity and religion seem to be almost irrelevant. It's just a number of many people among us making it impossible for us to pursue our legal pursuits of life. So all I'm appealing to you is firstly to go and extend my condolences to our constituency for those who lost their lives. And that I'm sorry for those who lost their properties. And that I appeal to you to be in charge of your constituencies. Persuade those who influence in your constituencies to please learn to live together, bear with each other. If you can quarrel in your home, why should you be surprised what's happening in your quota, or in your town, or in your state? It's never an absolute smooth ride. And for the members of the law enforcement agencies, directly under me by the Constitution as the Commander-in-Chief, I will keep on maintaining pressure on them to make our communities safe for all Nigerians, for everybody in Nigeria. People who are arrested with AK-47 and so on should be prosecuted.
Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong said over 200 lives were lost in the attacks, which he blamed on agents of destabilization who are committed to undermining genuine efforts at maintaining the desired peace enterprise in the country. He said arrests have been made and the suspects have been making confessions.
Mr. President, a lot no doubt rests on your shoulder, and we can only pray for the wisdom and courage to address all the issues that are begging for your attention in the country. As a rescue administration of the All Progressive Congress government, which you lead, we wish to assure you that we stand with you, shoulder to shoulder, in your efforts to solve the myriad of challenges confronting us as a nation, in your quest to bequeath to posterity a stable and a viral nation. Once again, I thank you for identifying with our grief as a state, and I pledge our total support for your administration as we work together towards the promised land of sustainable peace in Nigeria.
The governor commended President Buhari for promptly responding to the situation and made a case for compensation, rehabilitation and resettlement of displaced victims. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports that apart from the massive deployment of troops and other security agencies to the state, President Buhari had also dispatched a high-powered delegation led by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on fact-finding. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC has commiserated with government and people of Plateau State over Saturday's gruesome killing in Barkin Ladi and Riyom local government areas of the state. While condoling with families and friends who lost loved ones, the APC appeals to religious and community leaders to demonstrate true leadership even in the face of these terrible challenges. It also appealed to those affected not to take laws into their hands, avoid utterances and actions that can provoke reprisal. The statement signed by the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Bolaji Abdullahi, also called on security agencies to spare no efforts in ensuring the arrest and persecution of the perpetrators. The APC is confident that President Muhammadu Buhari's prompt visit to Plateau State will help in providing some succor to the affected. President Muhammadu Buhari is tasking states that are yet to take full advantage of his administration's zero oil economic roadmap to do so as part of their contributions to making Nigeria less dependent on oil. The president threw the challenge while inaugurating the Cross River State rice seed and seedling production factory in Calabar. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the report.
Regarded as the first automated rice seed and seedlings factory in Africa, the facility has the capacity to produce high-yielding, vitaminized and disease-resistant rice seedlings. It allows for industrial-scale automated production of seedlings using trays of about 1,000 per hour and represents a key technology for transplanted hybrid rice production. President Muhammadu Buhari, who described the project as visionary and trailblazing, commended Governor Ben Ayade for keying into his administration's zero-oil economic roadmap aimed at encouraging investments in other sectors of the economy, particularly agriculture.
Indeed, this factory speaks loudly about the giant strides we are making in agriculture as a country. This monumental project for which we are gathered here today is a marvel to behold. What we expect is that seedlings from this factory will improve rice yield, thus helping to ensure rice sufficiency in the country and doing away with imports and saving foreign exchange for Nigeria.
The president said with Governor Ayade's numerous investments in agriculture, Cross River State has not only found a pathway towards easing itself from over-reliance on Federation account, but also building a new economic base.
As our country makes steady, assured progress towards self-sufficiency in food production, it is therefore my hope and expectation that other states that are yet to fully take advantage of the zero-oil economic roadmap of the federal government will take a cue from Cross River State.
For Governor Ben Ayade of Cross River State, the rice seed and seedlings factory came into being in obedience to the president's call for economic diversification, insisting that the Buhari administration's rice revolution starts from the state.
Can we all please give Mr. President a rousing hand of applause for making rice a subject of concern? With your initiative and drive, it became very, very catalytically clear that we needed to change and bring agriculture to a digital age and levels. This is your property. This is your product. This is a product of your intellectual acumen.
President Buhari, accompanied by Kebbi State Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu and some ministers, was earlier given a befitting reception on arrival at Margaret Ekpo International Airport, Calabar. This is the president's second visit to the state since coming to power, and the people came out massively to show appreciation, solidarity, and respect. From Calabar, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Well, the Nigerian Navy Reference Hospital Calabar, conceived over 40 years ago to serve as a model medical force supplier facility for the military and paramilitary services in southern Nigeria, has been inaugurated. President Muhammadu Buhari, who performed the ceremony, described the facility as a great leap forward, saying, however, it's envisaged benefits will fizzle out without diligent maintenance. Adamu Sambo again reports.
Equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, the Nigerian Navy Reference Hospital Calabar is a Level 3 health facility for advanced medical investigations and treatment as part of the Armed Forces Strategic Healthcare Delivery Structure. It is set up to ensure quality healthcare delivery at an affordable rate to all who would have need for its services. President Muhammadu Buhari said the hospital underpins his administration's vision of what medical services should look like in Nigeria. He said while primary healthcare emphasizes quality in service delivery, the secondary and tertiary system must meet the most complicated medical challenges for the people at affordable rates.
Our yearning as a nation is therefore to provide affordable healthcare facilities across the country in our drive to a healthy population. The quality of medical facility before us today implies that previous gap in the provision of Medicare in this part of the country and in meeting specialized services nationwide would be further narrowed.
The president charged the management of the hospital to ensure that high standard is sustained by delivering efficient and effective healthcare process guided by humanitarianism. Both the Minister of Defense, Mansur Dang Ali, the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibas, and the Minister of State for Health, Dr. Osagie Ihanire, believe that the hospital, with its cutting-edge equipment, is a major addition to Nigeria's healthcare infrastructure.
The Ministry of Defense believes that our servicemen and their families deserve nothing less than best medical care. The people of Cross River State and Calabar in particular are blessed to have this as an option for them.
I therefore seize this opportunity to sincerely thank President Muhammadu Buhari for his proper resolve to emplace a virile navy capable of protecting Nigeria's maritime interests.
President Muhammadu Buhari also inaugurated a compressed brick quarters of 100 units constructed by the Nigerian Navy, another milestone towards creating a conducive living environment for its personnel.
I very much appreciate the efforts of the Nigerian Navy towards meeting this administration's housing policy, which is set to secure housing for all Nigerians.
The houses were constructed through the ingenious use of locally developed earth bricks and materials. From Calabar, Cross River State, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Judicial matters, the Nigerian judiciary has continued to perfect strategies towards restoring the confidence of the citizens in that arm of government as the last resort. To this end, 7 new High Court judges of FCT have been sworn in by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, to facilitate quick dispensation of justice. Omenka Amarachuku reports.
It is no longer news that awaiting trial inmates constitute bulk of prisons across Nigeria. Inadequate judges, amongst others, are factors said to be responsible for the slow dispensation of cases. With the addition of 7 judges, the FCT High Court is expected to speedily administer judgment to cases under its jurisdiction, which consequently will help in decongesting the prisons. Respect for rule of law, adherence to code of conduct, and zero corruption were the watchword.
Let us move the Nigerian judiciary forward. I assure you that the Nigerian judiciary is one of the very best in the whole world. That is to do justice to all persons without fear or favor, affection or ill will.
The 7 new judges, having found worthy in character and learning, are expected to continuously bring their wealth of experience to better the judicial system for the good of Nigerians. In Abuja, Omenka Amarachuku, NTA News.
Lagos State government to enhance the welfare of public servants. Let's get details of these and other stories from Dotun in Lagos. It's over to you, Dotun.
Thank you, Tessie, for joining us in Lagos. The partnership between investigators, prosecutors, and other security agencies need to be strengthened to enhance the federal government's anti-graft crusade. The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN, made this remark at a training for anti-graft agencies in Lagos. Lynn Lineke reports.
The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami SAN, who was represented, attributed the loss of some high-profile cases to lack of proper investigations. The synergy between security agencies, investigators, and prosecutors are critical to the criminal justice system because of their roles in gathering evidence for trials. The Attorney General of the Federation stressed that their collaboration is therefore essential because the quality of evidence produced during trials determines the decisions of the courts.
As investigators, you are often the first line of defense against corruption, as you have the responsibility to gather necessary evidence that will support appropriate charges in court.
There must be proper investigation of cases. Adequate facilities must be provided, training and capacity building for investigators.
Legal practitioners, however, believe that excessive reliance on confectional statements by investigators and prosecutors to secure convictions often delay trials. Funding, dearth of evidence, forensic data, and the demise of investigators as well as witnesses were some of the challenges identified at this training.
The Solicitor General of the Federation is very determined to drive this process in line with the leadership role of the Federal Ministry of Justice.
The training was organized by the Federal Ministry of Justice in collaboration with the Center for Social Legal Studies.
As part of efforts to improve productivity among farmers in Lagos State, coordination of the Federated Fadama project has been put under an executive committee. Jennifer Igwe reports that the project has over 25,000 farmers engaged in diverse agricultural activities.
It had the ambience of the usual Lagos Owambe parties. These farmers from different parts of Lagos gathered in Ikeja for the inauguration of executive members of the Federated Fadama Community Committee. Dare Ogubanjo, a vegetable farmer for 40 years now, is the state president. He says it will facilitate networking among farmers in the state.
We will network with even investors from outside the country, development partners outside the country.
The Federated Fadama Executive Committee is made up of representatives of different project groups under the initiative. The objective is the sustenance of agro projects initiated under the Fadama project long after it winds up.
The people that have been empowered can even do things on their own without even support again from either the federal government, the Lagos state government.
Rather than being those that are looking for help here and there, one, they become wealth creators, they become employers of labor.
When the Federated Fadama project started, 5,000 beneficiaries were on board. Today, however, about 30,000 farmers and those associated with agro-production are benefiting from the project. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
The Lagos State Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, has reiterated the commitment of his administration to providing whatever is required to make civil servants more effective and efficient in the discharge of their responsibilities. The governor, who was represented by his deputy, Dr. Idiat Adebile, said the welfare of public servants will continue to remain a priority. Thomas Ogbetere tells us more.
The grand finale of the 2018 Public Service Week. The event featured a panel of discussants who dwelt on the need for transforming governance to realize the Sustainable Development Goals. The Lagos State Governor, who was represented by his deputy, Dr. Idiat Adebulu, noted that there is need to celebrate public servants in appreciation of their contribution towards efficient service delivery and good governance.
I want to assure you that as a government, we will continue to play our part by providing everything that is required for you to effectively and efficiently in the discharge of your responsibilities.
The Lagos State Head of Service, Folashade Adesoye, encouraged all public servants in the state to continue to exhibit high sense of responsibility.
The recognition of outstanding public servants is meant to highlight the contributions of recipients to the quality of public service delivery in a bid to encourage them to higher productivity and to also motivate other public servants to aspire for such recognition.
I want to congratulate those who have won awards today, particularly, and to tell others that they were still going to win. So this is not the end of it, and those who have won continue to work harder.
Awards of diligence, commitment to duty, and unalloyed loyalty was also given to some public servants who have distinguished themselves in the course of discharging their duties. In Lagos, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
And those are our top stories from Lagos at this hour. It's back to Tessie in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Dotun, and welcome back to Abuja. Moving ahead, the federal government, in collaboration with Oyo State's government, are putting measures in place for enabling environment and infrastructure to enhance growth of micro, small and medium-scale enterprises in the state. This was highlighted at an MSME's clinic in Ibadan. Adebola Ogunlaya reports.
One of the cardinal agenda of the present administration is to promote economic growth through adoption of policies to ease method of conducting business. The Micro, Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises Clinic, being promoted by the federal government across the country, has provided a one-stop shop for all stakeholders to deal with various challenges of conducting business. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo at Oyo State Clinic in Ibadan says the federal government is determined to reverse the trend by changing the orientation of regulatory agencies to make them realize that their duties are to support and make businesses conduct easier.
To enable everybody who is working hard, everybody who is making an effort, who is trying their best in their own different ways, to have some credit from the federal government in order to expand whatever businesses they're doing.
Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi applauded the friendly initiative aimed at resolving challenges of establishing and growing micro, small and medium enterprises.
A total of 5,040 direct jobs and 20,000 indirect jobs have been generated under our scheme.
Under the initiative, the federal government is providing solar power system to energize markets in Oyo State with the takeoff of the scheme at Gbagi Market in Ibadan. In addition, more people are to benefit from the social welfare packages such as N-Power, Market Money and G-Money, among others, in Ibadan. Adebola Ogunlana, NTA News.
Nigerians are assured of more development gains, especially with measures to fund the 2018 estimate budget of 9.12 trillion naira that has a deficit of more than 1.6 trillion naira. Talatu Ezerike reports that this is a fallout of discussion on NTA's Current Affairs program Tuesday Live, where one of the discussants, a member of the National Assembly, canvassed for Nigerians' understanding on cuts in the budget.
It has been observed that Nigeria's economy has continued to grow, especially since 2015, with budgets of recovery and consolidations that have taken the nation out of recession technically, earning her international respect, rankings and commendations. These many say critics will agree with that. The developmental strides speak volumes following recorded increase in ratio of capital spending in the total budget. Analysts are therefore not happy over cuts made by the National Assembly in the 2018 budget in critical areas. They include health and infrastructural development that are of great benefit to the populace. More worrisome for them is that the legislators increase their own budget and introduce projects that ordinarily should have been handled by the local government.
It is irreconcilable for us in the labor movement to see the Assembly cut 5 billion from the pension fund and for public service funds. How can you do that?
The situation that has prompted more reaction with calls on the executive to go to court in the interest of advancing development in Nigeria.
It is not to approach the Supreme Court and it is not to seek legal interpretation. We are working on implementation and putting more and emphasizing less on areas of disagreement.
For the National Assembly, the action is guided by the Constitution and done in good faith.
It was this additional $6 per barrel that we have gathered across the spectrum that gave us that opportunity to now provide for some other sensitive projects which we feel our constituents are entitled to have.
There is a need for continuous consultation. The plan that is driving the budget and driving everything that we do is jobs. In deciding which project to support, we look at the number of jobs. It is not just enough that you're bringing so much capital. We also want to know how many jobs are being created.
The general interest is for total commitment in consolidating on gains for overall growth. Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
If you're just tuning in, this is Nationwide. More reports after this break. Just stay with us.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
When you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that offers kingly services such as 24-hour room service, impeccable security with CCTV surveillance, parking lots, free Wi-Fi internet service, free complimentary breakfast, restaurants that offers continental and local dishes, well-equipped fitness center with instructors, swimming pool, 350 capacity multipurpose hall, laundry service, pastry corner, mini mart, and our suites are breathtaking. For reservation, locate us at plot 1710, Tafawa Balewa Way, Area 3, Garikia, Abuja. Sharon Ultimate Hotels, the ultimate place.
The NTA Television College Jos admission forms for diploma program in film and television production, television engineering technology, broadcast journalism, and degree programs in mass communication, television journalism, and mass communication television production is now on sale. The sale of forms will commence 14th May and run to 13th August 2018 at the cost of 7,500 Naira only per form, payable through the remitter platform in favor of NTA Television College Jos. Forms can be obtained from all marketing offices in NTA State Capital Stations, zonal centers, Training Directorate of the NTA Headquarters Abuja, and the Office of the Academic Secretary of the NTA Television College. Applicants are required to possess 5 credits in GCE, SSCE in relevant areas of study, including English and mathematics, in not more than 2 sittings. All completed forms attached with photocopies of credentials must be submitted on or before the 13th of August 2018 to the stations where the forms were obtained. For further inquiries, please contact the Office of the Academic Secretary on these numbers. Announcer, Registrar.
NTA News Extra. Every Wednesday at 9 p.m. News Extra. Because you want more.
Thanks for staying with us. More succor for sickle cell patients as health sector intensifies efforts in that direction. These and more from Sokoto Center with Nura as our guide.
Thank you, Tessie, and welcome to Sokoto. Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar has called on Nigerians to present themselves and their families for the National Identification Registration. The monarch was speaking when he received the Director General, National Identification Management Commission, and his counterpart of the National Orientation Agency on a courtesy call at the palace. Sheikh Muhammad Datti completes the report.
Sultan Saad Abubakar described the introduction of national identity number as a wise decision by the government. He said this will help greatly in many national issues that have long been lingering. While calling on all and sundry to avail themselves for the registration, the Sultan pledged to direct all district and village heads to mobilize their subjects to register. Director General National Identity Management Commission Aliyu Aziz said they are in Sokoto to formally flag up the collaboration of NIMSI and NOAA for grassroots enlightenment. The Director General said the number has so many importance that include easy access to national population and easy monthly allocation to states and local government, among others. The representative of the Director General National Orientation Agency, Alhaji Balagambo, said the choice of Sultanate Council for the flag up of the enrollment is in consideration of the Sultan's role in national issues. He said plans are on to equally register newly born babies, but will not be formally issued with the identity number till they attain the age of 16. High point of the occasion was the formal registration of the Sultan. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
Kebbi State government has reiterated its determination to strengthen collaborations that will facilitate the reduction of out-of-school children, especially the girl child. Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu stated this in a message to the commemoration of the 2018 African Child Day. The report. Kebbi State is one of the educationally backward states in northern Nigeria, with over 500,000 out-of-school children, 60% of which is made up of the girl child. The commemoration of the African Child Day was therefore part of the efforts in awareness creation to combat the menace. Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, represented by the State Commissioner of Education, Alhaji Muhammadu Megawata Aliru, said despite government's huge investment in the sector, reducing the number of out-of-school children is a collective responsibility of all stakeholders.
State government also provided schools for children with special needs. And 6, the state government also provided counterpart funding for cash transfers to vulnerable families organized by UNICEF in order to attract enrollment and retention in schools.
The commissioner described culture and ignorance as the key factors responsible for the existing statistics. Other stakeholders called for all-inclusive initiative towards the indices of education in Nigeria and Africa at large. Encourage children to ask questions and demand for education as, according to them, education is the key to freedom and empowerment. Highlights of the event include presentation of a poem, An African Child, by 16-year-old Maimuna Gadba Hamani in Birnin Kebbi. The wife of Kebbi State Governor Dr. Zainab Atiku Bagudu has challenged the nation's health sector to introduce a special support program for the sickle cell patients in the country. Osman Abdullahi reports that the wife of the governor made the call at an event to create awareness on sickle cell in Birnin Kebbi. The report.
Sickle cell disease is a genetic inheritance disease causing the red blood cell disorder, leading to death of many patients. In this year's event in Kebbi State, the wife of Kebbi State Governor Dr. Zainab Atiku Bagudu said, considering the prevalence of sickle cell in the society, the National Primary Healthcare System should introduce special support program for sickle cell patients as that of malaria.
To look at how they can introduce these things into our system so that the hospitals are able to provide not just anti-malaria and folic acid, which they give now, but also to introduce pneumovac vaccines free.
Earlier, the coordinator Kebbi State Sickle Cell Association, Hajia Hadiza Yahya Shantali, disclosed that this year so far, the association was able to provide free genotype screening and awareness creation in 10 local governments in the state. She pointed out that about 1,476 people were screened and 420 were suffering from the disease. In the same vein, the wife of the governor pledged to pay over 1.3 million naira for the hip replacement surgery of a 16-year-old sickle cell patient, Hadiza Bello. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
And also a contribution from Sokoto back to Taste in Abuja for more nationwide. Good evening.
Thank you. Minister of Water Resources Suleiman Adamu is advocating the quick passage of the National Water Resource Bill, as it will guarantee efficient management of the sector for the economic development of Nigeria and well-being of its citizens. He was speaking at a consultative conference organized by the Nigeria Integrated Water Resources Management Commission in Abuja. Victor Azu completes the report.
Unity of purpose in the water sector informs this gathering. It is a consultative conference on water use, regulation, compliance, monitoring and enforcement framework. Key players are here to forge a common goal against the challenges confronting the sector with a view to ensuring sustainable financing for water sector development. Minister of Water Resources Suleiman Adamu says sectoral critical players must work together to achieve maximum success.
Water is a multi-sectoral entity. The outcome of your conference will have an impact on water resource development and the society in general, because water is life.
The Executive Director, Nigeria Integrated Water Resources Management Commission, Ruben Habu, explains that the conference is intended to take care of ambiguities in the functions of various agencies in the sector.
Putting the custodianship of water resources in the hands of government reduces conflict because of exploitation. By our regulation, we make sure that everybody has a fair share of the water resources.
The results of the conference is expected to be evident in the greater development of the water sector. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, as the rainy season continues to gather momentum, the annual threat of flooding in parts of the country has once again become a major topic of discourse. Coupled with the phenomenon of global warming, experts call for strict enforcement of environmental laws as well as sensitization of flood preventive measures. They were speaking on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Dennis Adegunloye has details.
The rising occurrences of flooding globally has led to an estimated 70 million people being affected annually. It has been a recurring theme in Nigeria over the years, with vulnerable, flood-prone areas bearing the brunt of heavy rains at this time of the year. However, the flooding that wreaks havoc on lives and property can and should be kept to the barest minimum, according to experts. Aside from the inevitable consequences of global warming and rising sea levels, which has caused coastal flooding, they believe that human factors contribute significantly to the threats posed. They call for rigorous sensitization on more environmentally friendly practices and attitudinal changes on the part of citizens.
The flooding in Abuja are human-induced because we have well-structured drainages, the buildings are well-constructed, but because of the activities of the residents, normally we have such flooding.
When you mobilize the citizens, you need to also let them to know what they need to do before help arrives. There are certain things you need to have with you because it may take 1, 2, or 3 days before help arrives.
Trees, the guests emphasize, are a natural barrier against flooding, and the issue of deforestation, they believe, is a practice that needs closer regulation.
We have stripped away our environment of trees. It's always shocking to me. You come into any estate in Abuja or any place, you have 200 houses, somebody is developing an estate, not a single tree planted. Every place is concretized or interlocking. And that's just an atrocious kind of urban development. You wouldn't see that anywhere.
The forecast, however, bodes well, with certain measures being put in place by emergency management agencies, while solutions they proffer include channelization of flood water.
Before the rain comes, we normally go around to take statistics and inspect and do the hazard mapping like my colleague has mentioned. We were able to identify the flood-prone areas and also to ensure that all the drainages are desilted.
Ultimately, the watchword is preparedness so as to achieve a season where lives and property are not unnecessarily lost to flooding. Dennis at Digunloye, NTA News.
Let's take another break. We'll be right back.
TBS International, in collaboration with Obafemi Awolowo University International School and the African Center of Excellence in Software Engineering, present to you Digitest, an annual ICT-based creative camp and competition with a focus on digital marketing, renewable energy, sport, tourism, and entertainment for young techies ages 8 to 18. Digitest 2018 theme, Selling Without Borders. Date, August 5th to 17th, 2018 at Obafemi Awolowo University International School. Proudly supported by Obafemi Awolowo University, Bode Akindele Youth Initiative, Nigeria Computer Society, the Ooni of Ife, His Imperial Majesty Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi. Media partners, traditional partners can register now at www.digitalpress.org. Visit our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Call now on 080-7782-3308. This is a lifetime opportunity. Don't miss it.
Now, you can hold that dream occasion without stress. Horizon Caterers will provide answers to all your catering questions. Exquisite hall designs, mouth-watering and nourishing local and continental cuisine, suitable for all types of ceremonies, including weddings, AGMs, business luncheon, cocktails. Name it, we can bring it. Our chefs and executive waiters give your guests that unforgettable experience in service. Our service covers all states of the Federation. Call us today to book your occasions. 0805-502-9637, 0803-450-9726, 0909-9708-111. Horizon Caterers. Experience catering beyond the horizon.
Health squarely is a responsibility of both federal, state, and local government. And what we've done is to really sell this idea to the state government.
Whatever we eat can help our organs to work well,
can also harass our organs to fail.
We need those hot teas that are brewed with spices.
As a blood donor, I see one of the things that is something that you give hope to another person that is in need.
Hello and welcome to Health Options. You're still watching Nationwide with me, Tessie Justin Bisong. The public have been advised to modify their lifestyles to live healthy and avoid deadly diseases. Members of the UN Mission on Non-Communicable Diseases gave the advice when they visited the Director General of the NTA. Basi Itaipang reports that they were received by the Director News, Aliu Baba Barao.
Non-communicable disease is said to have become a global health concern, with 36 million deaths recorded yearly. In Nigeria, records show that NCDs account for 24% of total deaths. Thus is the reason the UN mission is seeking collaboration with the NTA to create awareness on the risk factors and prevention of NCDs.
So we need you, and we know you have been our partners, to be able to tell our government responsibilities, and you hold the key. That's why we're here to also to talk to you. The state government is also there. People at the local government levels are there, and even our doctors, who are our healthcare providers, they need to be educated.
The future and prevention of dementia were also discussed.
What Nigerians see this as is madness. It is not madness. If a part of your brain, there's a disconnect in message relay from one cell to the other, there will be a bit of confusion.
The Director News reiterated that NTA is ever ready to fulfill its mandate of creating awareness and educating the public on the need for healthy living, noting that most of the deadly diseases are preventable.
Things very serious, and because they say health is wealth, and indeed health is wealth. Without health, you are nowhere. The normal duty or responsibility of media organization is information, education, and entertainment. But NTA fundamentally is beyond that. It has to do with national integration, public awareness, economic prosperity, and the health factor. And in our mission statement, projecting the true perspective of Africa. So it's not only Nigeria. We are the first.
The Director News was decorated as ambassador of non-communicable disease and a dementia awareness friend. Basi Taikbang, NTA News.
Etsun Nupe and Chairman Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers Alhaji Yahya Bello Abubakar, says the 2018 annual Nupe Day Festival, which is the 10th in its series, will be a historic and remarkable one. The Emir stated this at a news conference held at the Wadata Plaza, Bida, to roll out activities marking the festival. Jones Ajayi tells us more.
26th of June every year since 2008 has been set aside as Nupe Day by Etsus and Emirs in the Nupe-speaking communities in Niger, Kogi and Kwara states. Addressing a press conference, Etsu Nupe Alhaji Yahya Abubakar said since the initiation of the festival, the Nupes have become more united. He said the festival also enables them to assess how far they have fared, where they are, and where they hope to be in terms of development.
Look at the calendar and study the national activities within the period that you want to do your own, so you're able to maximize the attendance of expected audience.
Etunupe, who highlighted some of the events, said the lecture will be held at the IBB University Lapai, Niger State, Agricultural Exhibition and Regatta in Patigi, Kwara State, between the 10th and 18th of November this year. Other activities he added are horse race, marathon race, merit award and cultural display night, scheduled for between 20th and the 23rd of November, while the grand finale, which is the turbaning and Durbar display, is slated for Saturday, 24th of November this year. Etu Yahya Abubakar, however, said due to timing, the Basange Nupe Day Festival and cultural display will be held in Boloko, Kogi State on the 26th and 27th of December this year. The Emir thanked individuals and corporate organizations that have contributed to the hosting of the festival and prayed Almighty Allah to make it a success. Speaking earlier, the chairman Central Working Committee, Ahmad Akinlafiagi, Alhaji Manzuma Mamman, gave the assurance that by the grace of God, they will surpass the expectations as far as the 2018 Nupe Day Festival is concerned. Jones Ajayi, NTA News.
Let's now join Ruth in Jos for more reports on Nationwide. It's over to you, Ruth.
Tessie, good evening and welcome to Jos. Religious, political and interest groups are suing for peace in Plateau State following the recent attacks in some parts of the state that claimed many lives. Bilkisu Nuhu has more.
CAN Chairman Northern Zone Reverend Yakubu Pam and Deputy Chief Imam of Jos Sheikh Ghazali Adam, while urging security agencies to take proactive measures to avert reoccurrence, also appealed for calm.
Both the religion, tradition, moment to resist the attempt of going back to the olden days.
We also call on every Muslims, Christians, and all the nation to be prayerful, to pray for Plateau State.
Chairman People's Democratic Party PDP Plateau State, Damishi Sango, who expressed concern of the party, described the incident as barbaric and inhuman.
I call on the federal government to intervene immediately by restricting the affected communities through the reclamation of lost grounds, the building of their houses, and ensuring their safety thereafter. In the same vein, I'm calling on the good people of Plateau State to remain calm.
Inhuman. In the same vein, the Plateau State Youth Council, at a briefing in Jos, called for urgent review of security apparatus in the country.
While we commiserate with the people and the government of Plateau over this incessant killing and wanton destruction of life and property, enjoin the state government to, as a matter of urgency and necessity, devise ways and means through which our communities must be protected.
However, security agencies say normalcy has returned to affected communities. In Jos, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA Plateau State Command, has made seizures of over 3,000 kilograms of narcotics and other psychotropic substances between January and June this year. Commander, NDLEA Plateau State Command, Mr. Ibrahim Braji, said this while observing this year's UN Day Against Drug Abuse and Trafficking. Nenrot Nina Dinget reports.
The United Nations International Day, which has as theme Listen First, is aimed at creating awareness for parents and guidance to make conscious efforts at utilizing the skills of listening and understanding their words. Governor Simon Lalong, represented, said the team offers a unique opportunity for the key players to take a clear and definite stand against the menace.
We must also emphasize that if nothing is done, a sleeping generation will be unable to work effectively.
State Commander, NDLEA, Ibrahim Braji, said the command is soliciting the state government to establish a rehabilitation center or expand the existing center to accommodate more drug-dependent persons.
Our mini counseling and rehabilitation center, presently we have 21 drug-dependent persons undergoing counseling and rehabilitation.
Director of Quintessential Health Center, Dr. Audu Moses, in a lecture, emphasized how emotional indifference by parents could serve as barrier to listening to their children and the consequences it poses. Several speakers at the events resolved that government and relevant key players need to pay adequate attention to the education of children and adolescents, as well as incorporate drug treatment into all levels of healthcare delivery. In Jos, Narotinina Dinget, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. Tessie, it's back to you. Jos, Tessie.
Thank you, Ruth. And talking sports now, Nigeria Olympic Committee begins 3-day workshop on sports marketing in Abuja as West African Golf Tour B&E match play set to tee off Thursday in Abuja. Kene Emabudike brings us details on Sports Update.
A 3-day Olympic sport marketing workshop began in Abuja midweek with representatives of selected national sports federations and other stakeholders in attendance. Organized by the Nigeria Olympic Committee in collaboration with the International Olympic Committee and the Olympic Solidarity, the workshop intends to create the template for enhancing sponsorship and revenue opportunities for the nation's Olympic sport federations.
After this workshop, during our board meeting, we'll discuss it, analyze it against that. We'll move into action to look for money wherever it is so that we can help our sports.
If we do it right, in the next few years, we should be able to get what we really want. And we must give the private sector what they require. Let them be part of our planning of these programs.
Top professional golfers from the West Africa coast are set to compete for a share of the $25,000 purse prize West Africa Golf Tour B&E match play, which tees off Thursday at the IBB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja.
Easily one of the best golf courses in the country, so it is a fair ground for almost everybody really to compete or win, perhaps. I mean, that's why we're here, I guess, to win, I guess.
The championship, which is the 5th on the tour this year, marks the completion of another third full season. With Sports Update, Kene Ima Abodike, NTA News.
Next is a quick look at weather prospects.